Okay, Dad, so these are questions from Helene. And her first question is, I've written these down exactly as she has sent them to me, okay?
Okay, okay.
So Elaine would like to know, what's your favourite painting?
Oh, I haven't got one.
No?
I have paintings in the house which were done by my aunt, my mother's elder sister, Auntie Doris, who was a professional artist. And I've got one or two by her, and I've got one or two done by a friend of mine who teaches art to amateurs in Surrey. She has an art class, and I've got two of her pictures. And I have pictures from a student who came to the door selling his wares, selling his pictures, and there's two of those up there.
Okay.
But I haven't really got a favourite unless it's Auntie Doris's trees.
That's Auntie Doris's, is it?
Yes,
Oh, right, I didn't know that.
yes, yes.
I better take the camera up and just have a look at that one.
Yes, it is a nice picture.
There we are. Auntie Doris's picture, apparently. So, let me just put the camera back down a minute. Okay. So she's also would like to know, along the same lines as the first question, about your favourite piece of literature, your favourite book.
Oh dear. Wind in the Willows.
Oh, okay. Oh, well done for going for a straightforward answer there.
I think so. I've read the book so many times. I haven't read it in recent years, but it was my favourite book as a child, and I read it subsequently as an adult. Certainly, I think that is my favourite book.
And your favourite piece of music?
Oh dear. These are difficult questions. Favourite piece of music? I think perhaps Beethoven's Pastoral number 6, Beethoven's Symphony number 6, the Pastoral is one that I liked very much, and your mother liked very much that one. So we did have that on in the house quite often. Yeah.
I seem to remember you liking some Olivia Newton-John records as well.
Oh yes, yes. I liked it. Very few popular records that I really like, but I did like Olivia Newton-John. I Love You, I Honestly Love You. I thought that was a beautiful record.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
makes me cry
Ah,
even to think of it.
well, that's lovely. Thank you. And moving on again in the same vein of your favourite things, what would your favourite film be?
Oh dear, favourite film.
You've been telling me that you've been spending the afternoons during lockdown watching old war
Yes,
films.
I have old war films I enjoy. Um, but favourite film? Oh, I think it's a musical. Yes, it's got to be West Side Story. Definitely.
Ah, good.
West Side Story. That's my favourite film.
Okay. And your favourite game, as in card game or something along those lines?
Well, as you know, I play bridge, or is that I do it before this lockdown, and I'm hoping they'll start it again soon. I do enjoy playing bridge, which my mother taught me, and outdoors, of course, I used to play a lot of cricket and rugby. I also played tennis, but was not particularly good at tennis, and I played tennis up until I was married. I don't think I played after I got married in 1957. But I was a member of the Windsor Tennis Club, and rugby obviously afterwards, and cricket went on until my about late 30s anyway.
Okay. And following on from that then, I think I might know the answer to this one, but I'm going to ask you for sure because Elaine doesn't. Your favourite food? And can you name any of your favourite dishes?
I think I've got to say my favourite food is a good curry.
I thought it might be.
Yes, I enjoy curries. I have a curry once a week, at least. And I enjoy roast dinners, the good old British roast beef or any roast beef. Really.
Le roast beef.
Roast beef.
Isn't that how the French refer to us?
So I understand. Le roast beef.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm. Okay. Okay, so moving on. Which sport or leisure are you missing the most, or would you still like to practice as a pastime?
No, I'm beyond sporting activities now, although I could still play bowls had I wished to. I've got a set of bowls which belonged to my father, and I'm not too old to go bowling, but I haven't got the incentive really to do it anymore. That was the last active sport I did. As I've already said, I played rugby and I played cricket until my late 30s. I refereed rugby, of course, until I was mid-50s, I suppose. Yes.
Okay. How would your parents describe your character as a child?
How do I know? How could I possibly answer that?
As a lovely little boy.
Well, my mother would have said that. I doubt if my father would.
All right. Well, I'll just you can't expand on that one at all then.
Not really, no.
Okay. Okay. What family traditions do you remember?
I don't think we had any particular family traditions, except that we ate together every evening, all those of us who were at home. We always had our evening meal together, sitting around the table. And that's about it, really. We didn't have any other traditions.
Christmas, presumably.
Well, yes, we followed Christmas. And Christmas Day, we would open presents that had been sent to us from away. And my father would write down the present and who had sent it.
All very organised.
So he was quite organised on that, so that we would write the appropriate thank you letters subsequently.
Very easy after the event to not remember who sent you what.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Did your family have a special way of celebrating certain holidays? So I guess that kind of follows on from the previous question.
Family holidays when I was a young boy, father used to drive us down to Cornwall, to his home village of Calstock, to stay with his mother, because his father died before I was born. But his mother I remember quite well. She lived in a house which was overlooking the open space, the river the other side. The open space used to be a quay for unloading ship, but they never had any ships up there in my day. And she had, the ground floor was a butcher's shop. It wasn't their shop, they rented that out.
Right.
And upstairs, when I slept over the shop when we were there. But she was already well towards her end, and she had I don't know what, Parkinson's. She had Parkinson's and was very shaky all the time.
I see.
Yeah, that's all I remember about my grandmother.
What did you refer to her as? Grandmother, granny,
Grandma,
grandma?
grandma, I think. She used to send me money every week. A threepenny piece, a little silver threepenny piece, wrapped in tissue paper,
Right,
was put in with a letter to my mother or my father,
right.
and that little threepenny piece was was my pocket money.
That's lovely. Well, did she do the same for Rafe and Helena?
I think she did. They had they had more, of course, because they were older.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right, that's very interesting. Um, what would have been your dream job?
Oh dear, again, these are hard questions. I liked my job very much and the work I did. I enjoyed most of it. There's always bits you don't like, but dream job. Hmm. I don't think I'd have liked to have been a full-time judge. I was a part-time judge and a very low level, and I quite enjoyed doing that. Now, I certainly wouldn't have wanted to be a prime minister. That would have been the last thing I would have. Oh dear.
Well, and I've got to ask, really, from you mentioning that, if you had been prime minister, what would have been your manifesto?
Oh goodness me. No, I don't. I wouldn't even think about that.
Okay. Um, what skill or talent would you have liked to have had or have?
I would have liked to have been able to play the piano
Okay. What?
because my mother was a good pianist and she used to. Uh, we always had a piano in the house, and when she was cross or anything, she would go in and play the piano. If father had just upset her, that happened not infrequently, that she would go into the other room and bang away on the piano to get rid of her
Frustration. Might
frustration.
she have done that after the famous tipping up of
Oh
the
yes,
water?
yes, right, yes. Oh, you know that one.
Yes.
Aye.
And what aunt was it who was a classical pianist?
Aunt Helen.
Right.
She was mother's younger sister. Mother was one of six, three boys and three girls, and mother was number five, and Helen was the classical pianist. She was the youngest, and she was taught by a well-known musician at that time, which would have been the early part of the 20th century.
Was it John Williams?
No, it was, oh,
We've.
oh,
I remember talking about this before, but now I can't remember
yeah.
who it was.
She had a very well-known piano teacher, and she went on to be a solo pianist and give concerts in London, Queen's Hall, I remember. I think I went to see her with mother there once in the Queen's Hall in London. And then, of course, she and her husband moved out to Australia. And I think she continued on playing in concerts in Australia. She's dead now, of course.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Can you name at least three people you consider great men or great women, and what have they done that makes them look great to you?
Goodness me. Going back into history or
Oh,
people
yes, I
like
should think.
present people who are still alive?
Both, I
Um,
would have thought.
oh, that's a difficult question. I mean, what can I say? There have been brilliant British commanders like Nelson and Wellington, but I don't know.
Who has impressed you the most that you can remember? What about somebody like David Attenborough?
Well, David Attenborough is the only living person now that I really would respect and say, well, there's a man who has done well for this world and continues to do so at the age of 90 something.
Yes.
Yes, I very much admire him. But I can't think of anyone else, really. I certainly don't admire Boris Johnson. I think he's the biggest idiot around. But
What about, how do you feel about the Royals, Dad?
I think they do a good job overall. You could argue that they cost the country a lot of money, but I think they give value for money. Our present Queen certainly. Phil's not going to be around much longer. What Charlie Boy will be like when he's in his 60s now, isn't he?
I think he's in his 70s, isn't he?
70s now, yes, he's 70. That's quite right. So he won't be king for very long. And then William could show up to be a good type. His missus, I admire tremendously. I think Catherine is going to be a great woman.
Lovely. Okay. Those are all of Elaine's questions, but I think it would be appropriate for you to just mention whatever you can remember regarding Dominic and Michele for Elaine and Francois's benefit.
Well, I was there at the time Dominic was born. He was born in Penarth, I'm pretty sure, at Llandough Hospital, but I could be wrong about that. But I know that he was born in this country, of course, and the others, Anna and Jennifer, were born in France. And yes, he was an interesting child. We lived in Lavernock Road, opposite the entrance to the playing field, the recreation ground. And in those days, the lighthouse across the flat home had a foghorn. And there, any time there was any fog, this lighthouse would go. And Dominic, I remember, thought that noise was cows in the playing field opposite. He referred to, oh, crying cows again. I remember him saying that. No more crying cows. But that's about the only thing I remember as a little boy. And I had a cine film of him on the beach when he was in his teenage years, I suppose, or perhaps about 12 or 13, leaping across the rocks. So he was quite agile. That's and later on, of course, I did go to Paris a couple of times and see him and Michele. They were always very good hosts. Some nice food and plenty of drink, of course.
And they loved each other very much, didn't they?
I couldn't say that. They appeared to be very affectionate. But I think Michele was a little bit reticent on some things. She wasn't as forthcoming as Dominic. But then she was French, and maybe she found it easier to speak in French than in English. I don't know.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.